afternoon. Welcome to Tribune News on Q, your go-to afternoon news source, only here at the Daily Tribune. We're live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Daily Tribune PH on YouTube, and the Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. For today's headlines. TNU urged the Marcos administration to confront poverty amid rising prices, stagnant wages, and joblessness instead of relying on what he called fabricated poverty figures. The Philippines' poverty rate fell to a record low of 9.7% in 2025, but the official poverty line of just 96 pesos per person per day raises questions about whether the measure reflects the real cost of living. For a family of 5, the threshold is about 14,634 pesos a month. Chua urged the Senate impeachment court to allow prosecutors some flexibility in discussing the trial, saying public communication is needed to counter fake news and keep Filipinos informed. The Senate impeachment court dismissed as gossip claims that presiding officer Chis Escudero was courting opposition senators to secure the 16 votes needed to convict Vice President Sara Duterte. Indonesian teenager Rudian Sa has gone viral for helping fight wildfires in Borneo while dressed as Superman, joining his father and local volunteers to battle the flames after school. Palawan is targeting 6 million pesos to 7 million pesos in direct sales from its 3-day travel expo in Cebu this October, as the province seeks to turn tourism interest into businesses for local enterprises. Bea Alonzo is taking a more intentional approach to wellness, choosing long-term health and longevity over quick fixes and fleeting beauty trends as she looks ahead to a new chapter with husband Vincent Ko. Jaja Santiago Minoa's first regular PVL tournament back reminded her of her last competition on local soil half a decade ago. Today is the 24th of August, 2026, Monday, and I'm Eliana Lacap bringing you today's top stories. Now let's move on to this morning's headlines. ACT Leaders Party List Representative Antonio Tino criticized the Marcos administration over the latest official poverty figures, saying they fail to reflect the realities faced by Filipinos amid rising prices, stagnant wages, and limited job opportunities. Tino questioned the Philippine Statistics Authority's report that poverty incidence fell to 9.7% in 2025, noting that a separate survey found 10.3% million Filipinos considered themselves poor. He also disputed the 35,121 peso annual per capita poverty threshold, saying it was too low to reflect the actual cost of living. Tino urged the government to address hunger and economic hardship instead of celebrating figures he called disconnected from everyday Filipino experiences. Now, the government's record of 9.7% poverty rate in 2025 raises a deeper question. How much does a Filipino actually need to live decently? The Philippine Statistics Authority's poverty threshold of 35,121 pesos per person annually works out to just 96 pesos a day, or about 14,634 pesos a month for a family of 5. The threshold covers minimum food and non-food needs, but relies on low-cost food basket and spending data collected partly between 2000 and 2009. Critics say this may no longer reflect today's cost for housing, utilities, transportation, healthcare, and education. A person earning above 96 pesos daily may be considered officially not poor while still struggling to live with dignity. Now, Manila 3rd District Representative Joel Chua urged the Senate impeachment court to give prosecutors some flexibility in discussing Vice President Sara Duterte's trial, saying public information is crucial in countering fake news. Chua said the case involves the country's second highest official and has drawn widespread public attention, making legitimate media coverage important. He also asked the Senate to provide media personal space inside the impeachment courtroom so the public can directly follow the proceedings. The trial resumes Monday with prosecutors set to continue questioning former OVP Special Disbursing Officer Gina Acosta over the alleged misuse of confidential funds from 2022 to 2023. The Senate impeachment court spokesperson dismissed reports that presiding officer Senator Chis Escudero was courting opposition alliance senators to secure votes for Vice President Sara Duterte's conviction, calling the claims speculation and gossip. Attorney Reginald Tongol said Escudero's recent meeting with former Vice President Leni Robredo was part of his legislative duties, not noting that the two have been longtime friends. Tongol also denied claims that Escudero was counting votes, saying the senator remains focused on reviewing testimony and evidence. The impeachment court continues to recognize 16 votes as the threshold for conviction, based on the Constitution's two-thirds requirement for the 24 members of the Senate. Now, 17-year-old Indonesian volunteer firefighter is gaining attention after suiting up as Superman while battling wildfires across Borneo. Rudy Ansha has spent his free time helping his father's volunteer firefighting group in Parangkaya, dousing smoldering peatlands since 2023. This year, he wore the superhero costume while fighting the blazes, with videos of him using a hose to wet fire-hit vegetation going viral and earning millions of views. Indonesia's forestry minister even dubbed him a forest hero. Rudy Ansha said the costume was just for fun, but added that he was happy to help residents despite the exhausting conditions. Now, Palawan is bringing its tourism industry to Cebu in October, targeting 6 to 7 million pesos in direct sales from a 3-day travel and trade expo. The Palawan's World Best Island Travel and Trade Expo 2026 runs from October 23rd to the 25th at Ayala Center, Cebu, connecting hotels, resorts, tour operators, and other tourism businesses with travel agencies, corporate clients, and tourists. Organizers aim to attract 8,000 visitors, 60 buyer companies, and 250 business appointments. Last year's Makati Expo generated more than 4 million pesos in direct sales. Palawan recorded 2.13 million visitor arrivals in 2025. Now, Bea Alonzo is taking a more intentional approach to health and self-care as she enters a new chapter in her life. The actress said she has moved away from quick fixes in fleeting beauty or fitness trends, choosing instead to build habits that support her long-term well-being. Alonzo Co said her plans to build a family with her husband Vincent Co have also shaped her priorities, as she hopes to stay energetic and active for her future children. While she still wants to look good, Alonzo said her bigger goal is having the strength and energy to enjoy every chapter of her life. Now, Judge Santiago Minoa is expecting a demanding return to the Premier Volleyball League as Creamline prepares for the 2026 to 2027 Invitational Conference starting August 31st. The 6-team tournament will just run for 9 days, giving teams limited time to recover between games. Minoa said managing fatigue will be crucial, recalling the consecutive game format of her last PBL season in 2021. The 6'5" middle blocker recently debuted for Creamline in the PBL on Tour Showdown, helping the Cool Smasher sweep Galleries Tower. Creamline opens against NX Led, followed by Ho Chi Minh City Volleyball Club, Farm Fresh, Escola, and defending champion PLDT. Now, Tribune, did you know that on August 24th, 2006, the International Astronomical Union voted in Prague to reclassify Pluto, ending its 76th-year status as the 9th planet in our solar system. After days of debate, the IAU adopted a new definition of a planet. It must orbit the Sun, be mass enough for its gravity to make it nearly round, and have cleared its orbital neighborhood of other objects. Pluto met the first two requirements but not the third, placing it in the newly defined category of dwarf planets alongside objects such as Ceres and Eris. The decision sparked worldwide debate, with some astronomers questioning both the definition and the relatively small number of scientists who voted. The public reaction was just as strong. The American Dialect Society named the Pluto its 2026 Word of the Year, meaning to demote or devalue someone or something. Despite its new classification, Pluto remains one of the most recognizable objects in our solar system, and a favorite among generations who grew up calling it a planet. What if you're getting married but you're an introvert? A TikTok video of its engineer May Mendoza racked up 458,000 views, exposing her behind-the-door scene on her wedding. A netizen on the comments shared a laugh with "Parang magre-reporting lang eh." Curious about what happened? Let's watch this.
Wala, ayan na ako na. Sanod na ako dun.
Sinabi ko sa'yo, happy birthday. Bago pumasok, hinga ng malalim.
Daming tao. Mapawala lang ng kaba. Kinakabahan ako.
Shit, kinakabahan ako! And that's all for the mga ka-Tribune. Join us again at 4 o'clock p.m. for more updates. This has been Eliana Lacap for Tribune News on Q.